Scott, you and I checked out a Devolver Digital joint. We're talking about Children of the Sun. And dude, what a bizarre experience. What a game. What a unique experience. It honestly reminds me of Hitman Sniper if you've ever played that in the past. What a fantastic game. And then you get into Children of the Sun, which has got a quirky, weird art style, which I don't think will connect with everybody. But it's definitely got its own unique style, which I think is cool. It's presented well at the end of the day. But dude, at the end of the day, it really just feels like a Devolver Digital game. It's kind of how it goes, right? Basically what you are is you are a woman sniper who's going to take out a cult, and you're out for revenge. That's basically about it. And the story, dude, is a mess. Honestly, you're not really here for the story. You are here for the moment-to-moment, bullet-to-bullet gameplay, right? You shoot the bullet, you become the bullet, and you guide that bullet between one target to the next. And how you solve that puzzle is the best part about this entire game. Scott.
Absolutely.
I've had a good time, but man, I've also had a confusing time. What did you think of Children of the Sun?
Yeah, it is a bit confusing. I was able to get a first-hand preview on the demo that came out, part of the Steam Fest, and that gave me just my first impression of this game, which is that I want to know more. It looks really scratchy, really archaic on the art style, and I think I kind of like it, though. But I was hoping to understand a little bit more. What are my motivations here? What is this cult doing? And I don't believe any of that is really answered to any sort of meaningful degree. The motivation is kind of aside. All I know is that I am here and I must kill. And that is generally the motivation for a lot of games. So I could put that aside. Getting into the actual gameplay puzzle elements of it, this is something that's really, really interesting in my books. I didn't see the Hitman connection until you mentioned that, and now I can't unsee it. It's a series of challenges where you are shooting a single bullet, and that single bullet can redirect between kills. You can kind of tweak the different direction of it, and that's probably one of the better parts to this game, is that it's paced out over, I believe, 19 to 26 different maps, and those each give you a unique challenge, and as you go through every few maps, it'll give you a new kind of ability. So at first you're just shooting between targets. Okay, that's well and good, pretty cool. But beyond that, you're shooting, and now you can kind of slow the path of the target and kind of change where your bullet goes. From that, you can kind of stop on a dime and completely redirect where the bullet's going. And what these do, that's not even the end of it. There's different enemy types that you have to defeat in different manners. So there's a lot of different moving pieces to this that I found it was really fun to kind of learn, how am I going to use these tools to maneuver some of these maps? And I showed you one of the very, very last ones because it's just full of so many different challenges all at once that although you're just shooting one bullet and it's carrying on through, I've spent around an hour on each level kind of learning how to do it properly, because when you actually chain these things together properly, it gives you a big point score, and that score is taken to a leaderboard at the end of each level, so you and I can compare how we did it. And beyond that, when you complete a map, it gives you the option to retrace the bullet path. You can kind of rewatch what happened, or you can see on a topographical map how the bullet ricocheted around different targets, and the weird pretzels you draw trying to solve these puzzles. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I enjoyed my time, but at the moments I was like, dude, I played a mini game that why was this? You're cleaning your gun, you're reloading your gun, you're grabbing ammo, and they turned it into a mini game, dude, and I did not like it. I thought it was horrible. It was honestly the worst part of the game, but that aside, it was short, thankfully, and it allowed me to get back into like the main point of the game, right? But the story, like I said, right, is just so convoluted. You get a presence of what's going on, but you don't really fully understand. Even once you complete the game, you're still kind of scratching your head at the end of it all. So it's like it's a piece of art is one way to look at it, I think, and to take away from that, I'm definitely curious when we get into the end of this what you're gonna score it, because I think I'm in a different place than you are, as much as I've enjoyed my time, right? Mechanics, I think, were super cool. Like you say, you can curve a bullet, redirect a bullet. How you figure out your path, I feel like there's other opportunities, but it feels pretty, this is the path you have to take, and you can't deviate from that. So I would have liked a little bit more presentation of opportunity to go, well, okay, well, Scott, you did it this way, but then if I did it this way, maybe I can cut down on my time, go up in the leaderboard and improve on that. Because as you stack your kills, it works off of a multiplier too. And then you tag all these things together. I'm exploding cars. From there, I'm going through this car, blow that up. Now I'm going into this propane tank, blow that up, right? Which then kills multiple targets at once. And then allows me to pivot and then move on to the next thing. Kill a fish, kill a bird, redirect myself. Man, like, I'm all over the map at points. And it is the best part about this entire game.
Some of the most fun I've had is where I can't quite figure out how to solve it,
Yeah.
or I've missed by just a tiny bit, but you can actually, oh, now I see a bird in the sky. I'm not done yet. You can kind of pull it back from the brink of failure, and I've had so much fun just really stumbling through some of the solutions. I like that you can do it a little bit differently. There are options, but you have to be really creative to kind of figure that out, and I think that's good. It adds a really high skill ceiling. You can kind of stumble your way through the game, but if somebody's really skilled and you're watching, you're going to be completely blown away by the speed.
Scott, this is always the most difficult part because we're on different planes, right? How we felt about the game, your perception, my perception. What do you score in Children of the Sun?
I'm there with an 8 out of 10. This was a really solid hit for me. I'm a big fan of Devolver Digital. I'm starting to understand that a little bit more, but this is, I think, a solo developer, and although the images are a little scratchy, it's kind of hard to look at for a prolonged time. I'm really happy with this game.
Fair enough, fair enough. I'm a little bit lower than you. 7.5 is where I pull in. It's the art style that took me out of the game a little bit. It is flashy at moments, and I found it actually hard to watch in certain areas. The art style I don't think will connect with everybody, and that might be a bit of a turnoff at the end of the day. But the core game mechanic, dude, is such a highlight. It is such the moment to moment, that bullet to bullet, that bullet puzzle solving mechanic is definitely the coolest part of this entire game.